Welcome to Bench Burner Sports, everybody. We appreciate you hopping in. We've got Bailey King with us for a third time, first time under the new name, so we're excited to have him on the show. Um, he's got a fight coming up in August. I'm sure he's well into camp by this point, so we're glad to have him. What's up, Bailey? How you doing, man?
Doing very good. Doing very well. Feeling good.
Hell yeah, third time on the show. We appreciate you hopping on as always. How's camp going?
Camp has been going really good. This time around, I have some new coaching and stuff like that, and so we've been able to get into some pretty specific stuff and work on some pretty niche things. So with these new coaches, and I still have my old team too. I'm just looking forward to going in and tackling this challenge with all these minds that have been pouring into this camp.
Awesome. Yeah, you're what, like 2 weeks out now, huh?
Yeah, actually, as of today, 2 weeks out, which is a
That's
little
awesome.
crazy to think about. I remember being 2 months out, and then here we are, 2 weeks out.
Hell yeah, part of it. We're excited to see it. I'm sure we'll have it going here on the TV that night. So be good to see you
It'll
get
be
in there and
dope.
get another win, man. We're excited.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Um, so you said you've been working with new coaches this camp. I would
Mm.
imagine. What I guess a good first question would be for that would be like, what is the balance of hanging on to what's been successful for you thus far, and implementing new things that you're learning from new coaches? I mean, is that like a hard thing to do, or is it just kind of like been a seamless transition?
So I'm pretty involved in MMA, and so it's easy for me to distinguish what's good and what's not, and so it's just a matter of receiving information and just holding on to what's useful, getting rid of what's not, and just kind of simple as that. Simple as that. It's not very complicated at all. If it sounds good and it feels good, then I do it. If it doesn't sound very good, then maybe it's not part of the game plan. It's not something I'd like to add to my game. I just like having intelligent people around me just so I could draw and pick their brains from. What do you think? I'm always trying to just see what get second opinions on stuff like that.
This is your first fight at 185, right?
So my amateur debut, my first fight ever, was at 185, and I made weight like 2 weeks prior to the fight, and so this will be my first pro fight at 185.
Okay. Is that a lot easier, I'd imagine?
It is, but it was. I am still going to need to cut a little bit because I am holding on to weight I would have had to lose during camp last time around. So
Right.
I'm at a much more natural weight, but I still do have some weight to cut.
Gotcha.
What, like, I know you the first time you were on the show, you were talking about a move up, but it seemed like in your mind the first time, um, it was a lot further in your future than it seemed like it has come. I could
Mhm.
be wrong there, just kind of the vibe I got. I mean, is that true? And like, I guess, how have you been able to adjust to that like mentality? Okay, you think?
I'm good at adjusting to things on the fly. I don't ruminate or get too caught up in things. Just given how my last cut went, I knew as I was cutting, like, okay, this is the last time we're doing this, just because it was I could feel it. I could feel it in my body, just how much it was taken away from my ability to perform. And so like my ability to perform is number one. So as I was cutting weight, I just understood that this is going to be the last time, and for sure next fight will be 185. I didn't anticipate it was going to be a title shot, but here we are.
Yeah, I know you were talking like the last time you were on the show, you didn't want a title shot that wasn't deserved, but I mean, hell, you've done pretty much everything for Peak FC as far as the welterweight division goes, and you got that
Mhm.
very impressive win the last time out. So I mean, I feel like at least on in my book, you've done well enough to deserve that. I feel like Peak FC knows what you're capable of and knows where your future lies. So I mean, you're kind of a cash cow for them right now, I would say. You got a
Mhm.
pretty big following despite not even having a Twitter or anything. I
Just
mean,
Instagram.
yeah,
Just
exactly.
I couldn't handle any more anymore.
I don't blame you, dude. That's a good way to go about it. especially as a fighter, keeping the mind locked in. I'm sure it just helps.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, it's cool to see just the growth. Like I said, Peak FC pushing you as they are, because like I said, they know where you're headed. So it's cool to see like them kind of use that to their advantage, of course, but also to yours as well. So yeah, it's cool. It's a
Yeah,
very good
it plays
team
into both of
growth.
us. We both get a lot out of it, the company and I. Was there a question? It's in there somewhere. I have fighter brain, and I may have missed it.
Not really. It was more of a statement. It was kind of a
Mm,
yes or no question, but I mean,
mm,
um, I guess a good question to ask off of that, I guess, would be like, I mean, I'm sure you're grateful for what Peak FC is done for you, and I mean, as far as regional promotions go, um, it seems like a very well put together promotion. Like we have a couple of fighters that we really like that have been on our show a few times that are regional fighters, and we love the fighters, but we watch some of their regional shows, and it's just like, ugh, this is painful to watch. Like, why? I hate that I have to watch this until he fights. But like
yeah,
watching yours, I mean, they put it together really well. The production values there. They promote their fighters very well. It seems well put together. You think? I mean, I'm sure being in like a metropolis, Dallas helps, but also we've seen like Atlanta shows be not very good. So,
yeah,
um,
yeah.
I mean, could you see yourself like maybe commentating on Peak FC ever one day, maybe?
So they had a smaller. It's still on like the Peak Pass, so they have their app, and then they have their subscription service. With that comes some shows, and one of those was Apex Grappling, and I had hopped on the commentary booth for a little bit, and honestly, a lot of people told me I did a really good job commentating. So like, I'm sure once I am champion and I am kind of the face of the company a little bit more, hopping on the commentary team for maybe a smaller event would be phenomenal. I would love an opportunity like that to just kind of, you know, add whatever I have to say to the event.
With
I mean,
this fight being one of your first, I'm assuming first, this is like one of your first fights at 185.
mhm, mhm.
With this fight being one of your first at 185, what do you think, what do you need to go into like differently with this compared to like a fight at 170?
A fight at 170 was really just like a me versus food, me versus the scale. And so far, this entire camp, I've been able to eat comfortably uh, and replenish. Because when I train hard. I train hard like almost every day, like hard. And to do like you need a lot of calories, you need a lot of protein, you need to recover from training sessions like that. And so I wasn't able to get that same level of intensity out of my training when I'm dieting for 170. So the biggest difference between my fights before and this fight camp is just my ability to eat. Because I go to bed satiated, I'm getting better sleep. Because I'm getting better sleep and I'm eating more, I'm recovering quicker. I'm able to train harder more often throughout the week. So I'm a lot stronger. My cardio is a lot better. So going into this 185 fight, I think it's just everything good, all good things. I'm not really worried about bigger guys. I mean, when I train, I love going with bigger dudes. No homo. I don't know. I don't know how I need to preface that, but I like training with bigger guys when I'm in the gym. Um, so uh, the size of the 185ers is no difference to me.
And also you
Gotcha.
mentioned that you were going into that you had like a new training staff and like new coaches.
Mm.
What do you in the time that you've been training with them so far, what have they brought to the table that you think really elevates your game?
Just different points of view, different perspectives. I have my MMA coach and Mark De La Rosa. He's more so of a boxing guy, but his ability to strategize is fantastic. So we'll just watch tape, like trying to find an appropriate word to describe how we watch tape, but I don't think anything other than like autistically. Like we will just sit there and put our autistic minds together and just watch tape and strategize and just kind of like nitpick every little detail. And then I have a fantastic wrestling coach who's kind of a little bit, his role is kind of structuring the training sessions to maximize how I'm being pushed, strategizing kind of the training partners coming in. So if we're doing a session where it's going to be me versus a lot of guys in a day, he's going to be in charge of organizing how throughout the rounds these guys are going to, just based off of their unique abilities and their skills, how are they going to push me as we're getting deeper into the rounds, their fresh bodies and stuff like that. So just a lot of minds are coming together for this fight camp, and I'm just proud to have such guys as these behind me.
So, all right.
So can you tell us a little bit about your opponent, and without giving your game plan or anything like that away, just kind of tell us how you think the fight might go?
Start off, I honestly just look at him. If you watch his fights and you watch my fights, no disrespect or anything like that. I mean, I'm sure he's a great guy, but like it just, you don't, being a great guy doesn't win you fights. And so I'm sure he's super nice, but I see him fight and I just don't see someone who like has what it takes to go in there and like rip someone's head off if he needs to, like I do this for a living. All my eggs are in one basket. I will kill you if I need to, you know. He just doesn't seem to have a tenacity that's necessary to really, be that guy in the cage. Like if he doesn't have kill, like I'm not, you have to kill me. If we're fighting, you have to kill me. Like you're gonna, if I'm in an armbar, you can have my arm. It's gonna break. I'm gonna try and get out. You can have my arm. If you put me in a choke, I'm gonna go to sleep. You need to kill me to beat me, and I just don't see that in him. So regardless of how like the first maybe round or two go, I know wholeheartedly that I can count on. And this is not part of the game plan. The game plan is not to go in there and eat a ton of punches to the face. But I know at the very least I can count on my ability to fight to the death if absolutely necessary. I don't really see anywhere in his game that will shut me down or give me a hard time. I've I've fought better wrestlers, I've fought better grapplers. He may be the best striker that I fought, but I mean, I train with fantastic strikers all the time, and I have no issue, no issue. So I just don't see anything that he's going to be able to present to me that's going to give me a real hard time.
Is he the current champ, or are y'all fighting for a vacant belt?
We're fighting for a vacant belt.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw he's came from or he was in Fury FC for a little bit and a couple
Mhm.
other promotions. I think this is his first peak fight, I believe. But
It is.
yeah, kind of going off of that. I mean, you win the Peak FC belt. Could you see yourself maybe fighting for like Fury or LFA or something like that? That's on like Fight Pass, where people may get a different level of exposure, or are you just for now? I know you're only 22, 23, so I mean, you're probably, or are you just taking every day as it comes and then seeing what happens?
Um, well, I've just signed a new contract with Peak. A few more fights, not a ton. I would like to see if they would work with me, or possibly once I'm through with my contract. Um, I take a lot of, so when I first started my career, I took a lot of inspiration from Israel Adesanya. At this point in my career, I take a lot of inspiration from Alex Pereira. I would like to take a small break from MMA possibly, and maybe pursue like kickboxing and Muay Thai for a little bit, and just kind of for a year, and consistently too. Like I like to compete. It's just very difficult to compete often in MMA. Competing in jiu-jitsu often is pretty expensive. And so I would like to compete often, and I would like for it to be either kickboxing or Muay Thai, whatever it is, just because I had a realization watching Ian Gary and Alex Pereira fight on the same card the last time Alex Pereira fought. These guys made their debut on the same card. One is a world champion outside of MMA, and the other has only ever competed in MMA. And look at where they're at in their careers. Ian Gary has to convince you after each fight why he won. Alex Pereira doesn't need to say a word. and I don't want to be an Ian Gary. I would like very much to be reminiscent of Alex Pereira. And so I would like to take a little bit of a break once this contract is through, or maybe I sweet talk the president a little bit, not the president of Peak Fighting, Johnny Ross, and see if he'd allow me to venture out and do some kickboxing on the side just to stay active, just to sharpen my striking, and just be a deadlier weapon for the promotion. That's how I'm going to put it. I'm like, bro, this will be good for the. I will have more brutal finishes in the promotion if you let me kind of just go mess around on the side a little bit.
Sounds awesome. That would be cool to see. Yeah, I feel like I'm. Now that you say it, I remember you mentioned that last time you were on. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I mean, yeah, like you said, it definitely seems like the guys that go out and fight in other combat sports and then come into the UFC, they're more well known for one already. So you come in at the UFC being like, oh, I've seen this guy kickbox before. He's a fucking monster, compared to just having to ride the coattails of Conor McGregor being an Ian Gary. Just quoting him word for word, and like you said, going out and having to explain why you won, when the masses don't agree. So yeah, I could see that for sure. And it would also just be fucking awesome to see you in like a kickboxing ring or a Muay Thai ring. So
Yeah, bro,
I'm
be
all for
warrior
that.
champ. Like, take a year and a half, 2 years, just hone my striking ability, just see how far I can get in kickboxing. I mean, by that point, I won't even be 25 yet.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be 25 by that time, And so, I think I'm not in a rush. I want to do everything the right way. It requires a little bit of patience. But I think if all things go according to my plan, which is kind of, selfishly the only plan I have in mind, I win these next couple MMA fights. I defend my belt a little bit. I take a little bit of a break. I go become a specialist outside of the sport, and then I come back just even more dangerous,
Sounds
Because
awesome.
one thing I realized is these guys, like, MMA is cool and all, and guys are doing MMA, but the guys who only have ever done MMA, once they make it to the UFC, they're those guys that just get stuck at in the rankings. They never really become champ. They just kind of they're promising guys, and then they make it up to the top. Like you're Darren. I mean, Darren Till was a Muay Thai world champ. I think world champ. I'm not sure, but he was at least a Muay Thai practitioner before,
Yeah.
or while he was fighting MMA before the UFC. But even then, he's a fantastic striker, and he wasn't able to make champion status. So like you got to take this so serious.
Yeah.
You got to make the right decisions, and I think that would be me playing around in a few other sports.
For sure. I mean, it makes sense, like you're saying. I mean, that's a good point because, like, guys like Neil Magny, as awesome as he is and stuff, but like him, Vicente
You could go
Luque,
on forever.
yeah, I mean, yeah, Jared Gordon, like guys that are good fighters and you want to see them succeed, but they started MMA and then they end up getting to the UFC and they get a little hype around them for a little bit. They get a couple losses and eventually they just become gatekeepers. So yeah, could see that.
Ortega's, Uriah
Yeah.
Rodriguez's, like it's like household name guys aren't becoming champions because they're just. I mean,
It's
I
a
don't
very
know.
short list. It's a very short list
Yeah.
of people who have succeeded that way. I would say like Volk, and then who else?
Volkanovski, yeah.
He's the exception, but he's just a freak.
GSP, I'm not sure. No, he even did karate.
Yeah. That's what I
Before.
was gonna say, but then I remembered he did
I
karate.
mean, you could kind of say Sean O'Malley too, because I
Yeah.
feel like, I mean, he
Yeah.
hasn't had any
Fair.
other.
But there are, like I said, a super short list. And I mean, those guys are
Mhm.
champions now, so they're
I feel
obviously
like
just different.
To have something that's kind of your specialty is almost, and I guess people kind of use this in a negative way, but positively speaking, it's kind of like a crutch. Like if you're just generally an MMA fighter and you're losing an MMA fight, that's your thing. But if you're kind of a boxing specialist, a wrestling specialist, and you're losing an MMA fight, you can turn it into a wrestling match or turn it into a boxing fight, and you can kind of make it go your way if you have a specialty.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a pretty good idea, I think.
I think so too. And again, I mean, who knows? Just like I might have a different idea in 2 months, you know. But as far as I'm thinking right now, I'm thinking, um, just kind of playing it slow and really get a ton of competition experience too. Because what it is, I mean, a guy might be 12-0 in MMA, but all he ever did was MMA. He has 12 competitions, 12 competition experiences under his belt, versus a dude who might be 7-0, but he went and has 70 Muay Thai fights, 70 kickboxing fights. I mean, the difference, I would take that 7-0 guy with 70 Muay Thai fights outside of MMA versus this 12-0 promising guy, like every time. If you put those two guys together, I would take the dude with the more competition experience.
You
If you
mentioned
do
that
kickboxing, go ahead, Coop.
you mentioned that you were just saying like how you wanted to like take a break from MMA and like maybe go into like kickboxing or Muay Thai or whatever. After like hypothetically after your time in a different sport like that is done, do you want to head back to like a Peak, or do you want to go back to like a more prominent other regional promotions, which will like hopefully inevitably get you into the UFC?
Um, man, Peak has only done good by me so far, and I'm familiar with them, and they do a fantastic job with the production value, and they're only growing. I'm sure if we were to kind of separate for a little bit, Peak and I were to break up for a few years, you know, maybe a year and a half, who knows? Um, I mean, everyone who would be like everyone who's already a fan knows of me knows Peak. You know, everyone who's a fan of me is also somewhat inadvertently a fan of Peak. And so if I were to make my return, the Peak is already sending guys to the UFC already. You know what I mean? And the company's only growing. So by the time I come back, I fight a little bit. Maybe I fight for the belt again. Who knows? Who knows what that looks like? I mean, it would be um, probably Peak. I go back to. You know, kind of.
Would you be one of those? Would you be one of those really active kickboxer or Muay Thai fighters? I know like their records are just insane numbers. Would you be out there a lot?
Just whenever an opportunity presents itself, I'm not sure. I mean, I've never fought. I don't know what the scene looks like, especially here, and like, I don't know where, especially here in Texas, DFW. I don't know how often kickboxing events happen around here, stuff like that. But just as often as possible, because it's just about racking up experience, and it's not like camp isn't the same for like an MMA fight. An MMA fight is like you've got to get insane. You have to be a little bit crazy to do all the right things in an MMA camp. Whereas you don't have to be so hard on your body competing that often, I imagine.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Would you? I know, obviously, probably not at first, since you'd just be like getting into it, but like eventually, if you found that you were good at kickboxing, I know you mentioned like Fury. Would you be, um, or Glory? Sorry, not Fury. Would you be like open to the idea of fighting like internationally in Muay Thai or
Oh,
kickboxing?
absolutely. Yeah. I'm just stuck to fighting locally right now. I'm just not that guy yet. But once opportunities like that present themselves, I mean, I would love to. I would love to. That would be fantastic. And the glory would be a pretty badass ladder to climb before I make a comeback um, to MMA. I have some training partners that have done Muay Thai for a long time, ton of fights, and like I don't like they're not beating me up. They're not beating me up, and if we're doing just a straight kickboxing Muay Thai sparring session, like you would imagine we're of equal skill a little bit. I try and ward things like that without putting my partners down. You know what I mean? Because they're fantastic people, but
Yeah, of
like
course,
it's
for
pretty
sure.
even.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're fucking stoked to see where you go. You were one of the well, you've been on our show 3 times. Nobody's been on our show 3 times, so um, we always appreciate that. First time under the new name, but we had to go a little bit more PC for the YouTube algorithms, but
That's fair. I feel like I saw that and I understood immediately.
oh yeah. Nah, man, but we're stoked. I know me and Matt have gotten together to watch, I believe, 2 of your fights now, and yeah, we live together now, so it's gonna be a thing where we're probably just
Oh
watching
yeah.
every fight you have. So we're excited.
Oh yeah.
This
Matt,
would
you got
usually be
something
the
to
part
unmute it?
where I think I'm on.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Mhm.
I was gonna say this would usually be the part where Knuckles starts talking about video games, but unfortunately he couldn't make it today. But yeah,
I
Have
haven't
you
been playing much anyways lately.
I've been
gotcha.
I went back to my basics for honor.
oh yeah, For Honor's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been spending way too many hours playing the new college football game just because nostalgia. But I had to, dude. I had to. The nostalgia just is unreal with it.
Really?
Oh man, I don't
Interesting.
know if you
I
played it
never
back in
got
the
into
day,
those
but
like honestly I never got into sports games, not even UFC. I'm not a UFC fan.
Really?
feel that.
Um,
I
Oh,
am stoked for the new Assassin's Creed game to come out. That's gonna be awesome.
are you talking about the Japanese one, bro?
Oh yeah,
It's
dude.
I'm sorry, bro, but it's gonna be bad.
You don't think it's gonna be good?
It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be so bad. If you're looking forward to that game, just get Ghost. Have you played Ghost of Tsushima?
No, dude. I don't have a fucking PlayStation because I'm an idiot.
Oh, that's fair. Then this is probably gonna be the closest thing you're gonna get. But it's just a
I've
team of idiots working on this game.
yeah.
Have you seen kind of like people online making fun of just like every creative decision that has gone into this game?
Yeah,
It's
dude.
just
I guess I'm lucky in this sense. I'm so undercritical with everything, like TV shows,
that's fair.
movies,
That is
video
fair.
games. Like, so I'll probably play it and enjoy it a whole lot, where everybody else hates it, just because, like, dude, I don't know. I just like
That's
mentally
a
go
secret to
numb
life
when
right
I'm
there.
judging
Just
a
not
game. I
being
guess.
overly
Yeah.
critical.
Oh, dude, I'm so underly critical with everything. I try my best to enjoy shit for what it is. I know it's not like historically accurate. I know there's all
Yeah.
these like I've seen everything that everybody's pointed out about it, but dude, like people have been asking for a Samurai Assassin's Creed game for years and years and years, and now we have one, and that's good enough for me,
That's
honestly.
fair.
But
That's
I don't
fair.
know, but I do feel you. For Honor, that was my fucking game back in the day, but
They put a lot of effort into that one.
yeah, that one.
That was a good one. Mhm.
Yeah.
to kind of like not to sidetrack from the video game talk, but there was one question that I did just remember and came back to my brain. Um, I unfortunately I wasn't able to make it to the last time you were on here. So
Mhm.
the very first time you were on here, I remember you were set or like trying to choose a nickname. Have you settled on one yet?
It's not for me to settle on. That's the conclusion I've come to. It'll stick. It'll whatever it is, it'll stick.
I feel like
Yeah.
part of the problem is your last name is like already a nickname in itself.
And
So
if
it's
that's
kind
how it
of
plays out, then that's cool by me. You know, if I just
yeah.
don't ever
Is
get one,
Bailey King
cool.
King?
Bailey the King.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
All
haven't
right.
heard a lot of talk.
Back onto video game talk. Sorry.
Well,
No, you're good.
I was actually gonna ask. It came back to my mind. I mean, I know, like Matt said, you don't want to give your game plan away or anything, but does Mystic Bailey King have any predictions of how the fight finishes, or
Mm. By finish. This is a finishable guy. Hope that didn't sound strange. Fight talk just sounds so gay sometimes, bro.
It's thin ice.
Yeah. Dude, I'm gonna go in there. Someone's gonna finish. Finish for sure. Probably not sub. Just been working a lot of control and ground and pound. I know how to. I know how to jujitsu. So if the sub presents itself, then certainly. But I see that being probably on like the lower end of likelihood. I've been working a lot on my striking and just kind of countering, being more of a counter striker too. So like before, I was just kind of purely offensive. I'm going to throw myself at you. Some of these punches are going to hit you, and I'm going to absorb some. Just getting smarter, not being such a meathead. And I'm confident in my ability to not be a meathead and be strategic, be a meathead if I need to, but that's not the game plan. I see maybe round 2 or 3 KO or TKO at least. That's what I'll lock in. Round 2 or 3 KO, TKO.
Oh yeah. Will this be your first 5-rounder?
5 fives. I've done 5 3-minute round fights.
Right.
This will be my first 5-minute round
Okay.
fight.
Has that been something you had to put?
Sorry, squared.
I was just gonna say, has that been something you've had to put a lot of extra attention into, like some cardio and all that stuff?
Yeah. Just it's not so much about like training more. I'm not training like I'm not doing more rounds. For me, I mean, I don't know. Like, what do I know? I could be stupid. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I don't think being able to go 20 rounds in the training room translates to being able to go 5 rounds in a fight. So we keep the rounds short. We'll do maybe 6 or 7 max, but like each one is a fresh guy and it's intense and it's hard as fuck and nobody gives me any slack and I'm fighting tooth and nail every round. And that I've seen a massive amount of improvement in my cardio and just my ability to go on for long. So I would say the biggest difference in my training is maybe just adding an extra round or 2 at the end of whatever it is that I'm doing. But like it's way more intense. Whatever it is that I'm doing, it's way more intense. And I've been training with some really good dudes too. Like I don't have just like punching bags to beat up on this whole fight camp. Like I am going with dudes who are better than me. So the whole time I'm trying to beat guys that are better than me, that are a little bit bigger than me. And I've seen a lot of progression in that throughout this fight camp. I'm doing much better against some of these people that are helping me throughout this fight camp. I legit have guys. Like this isn't just me showing up to MMA class and I'm getting my MMA class in and we do our little group cardio at the end. Like every day it is me in a training room and guys in the room that are there for me, and everything we do and everything that we talk about is how are we going to win this fight and stuff of that matter. So I'm confident going into this fight. This has definitely been certainly the first time I prepared for a fight in this way, where every single little thing has been tailored towards me. And it's just how it needs to be done.
Yeah. I'm excited for it. I'm really looking forward to it.
I was gonna ask that because you're because this is your first 5-5s fight, as well as the fact you're moving up a weight class, like how's your cardio feeling?
My cardio is feeling fantastic. I'm working with the strength and conditioning coach too for the first time for this fight camp, and so I kind of was a little suspicious of the workouts at first, because I was like, I need to kill myself every time I'm in the gym. This just seems a little too easy. But honestly, what I learned about strength and conditioning with this coach is that's not the part where you're supposed to die. You know, this is an accessory to the gas tank you're trying to build. It's just to keep you healthy, keep you in shape, keep your body doing functional movements. So it's not very taxing, and you get to go train a lot harder. Because I think a mistake that I would admit to in my previous fight camps is going too hard in the gym and not leaving enough in the gas tank to push myself as hard as I could in the training room. And so what this has been a lot of is just going really hard in the training room, and my strength and conditioning is just staying in shape and little accessory workouts that are just there to support me and not be my main workout of the day. So to answer that question, my cardio is really good. I did 5.5s yesterday, and I would push the pace throughout more and more throughout each round.
You think that's going to mirror your fight performance? Like, you think you're going to start slow and then progressively just build and build as the fight goes on?
The only reason the fight would start slow, and it probably will. We're both strikers, and we're going to need to get a feel for each other out in there. Round one might not be action packed because we're still getting a feel for each other. We're feinting, we're making reads, we're kind of slowly creeping up on each other. The fight would really pick up round 2 or 3. So I mean, you could probably bet. I'm not saying it'll be boring, but it's just not going to be the most action packed round one.
Cool. All right.
Imagine he just bull rushes you and you just catch him with a nice little counter hook.
It'd be fucking stupid to do that. Bull rush, bro. Bring it. That's fantastic. I love that. I love that. But just watching him fight, I just know it's just not in his personality. It's not something you can learn how to do. It's like a tenacity. It's like a genetic tenacity, and I just don't think he has that. Anytime he's fought before, things get a little heated in the pocket. They start trading. He's out. He just runs away. He runs away, and you're either going to be running around the cage the entire time when you're fighting me, or if you think it's going to be a good idea to stand in there and trade with me, like it's not going to be a good night for you. So he does. The way I've been going about preparing, he just doesn't have a lot of options.
Oh yeah. What are we thinking? I think we've talked to you about this a little bit before. Just asking you questions about the upcoming one. What do you think about like Leon Edwards, Tom Aspinall Blades? What are we thinking there?
Betting against Bilal just is not a good idea because like you have nobody really likes the guy, so you have your expectations for how you want it to go, and obviously I want Bilal to get starched. I mean, I don't hate the guy. It's just like I would much rather Leon won, and if I want Leon to win, I want it to be in spectacular fashion. But Bilal he's super smart. He trains with a ton of super smart guys. That's honestly a fight I don't know how to call. I don't know if I'm not confident in Leon, and I'm also not confident in Bilal. But I think against Blades, I think Tom Aspinall really gets the job done. That I'll say confidently. I would confidently say Tom Aspinall beats Curtis Blades.
Yeah, they've both. It's wild because it's co-main and main that they both fought before, but both were just like weird stoppages. Like Aspinall got hurt, and then Leon was schooling on Bilal, but Bilal got eye poked.
Air quote.
I mean, it was a pretty bad eye poke. I hate Bilal too, but that one was pretty rough. To be fair, his eye was bleeding. So
yeah, it was a gnarly eye poke for sure. I don't blame him for that one.
Yeah, I've got this card on in the background. I think Muhammad Usman just got sat on for 15 minutes, but yeah, I don't know. You guys have anything else for him?
Yeah. I mean, I got nothing. I mean, this is I've been out for the last few weeks just 'cause I've been busy with stuff. And I mean, it's been kind of a hectic and packed few weeks, but I'm glad to be back, and I'm glad to have a chat with you because you're definitely a favorite guest of me personally, and I'm sure a bunch of the guys. So.
Oh yeah.
Heck yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you for coming on again, Bailey. You're the first fighter I'd ever gotten, and you've been on 3 times now. You're most experienced friend of the pod, so we always love having you on. Appreciate it, man.
I've been a little bit hard to get a hold of this fight camp just because like there's a lot on the line, and I've just been super focused. People have come to me with some complaints, like some people have accused me of ghosting them. And it's like, brother, I have the biggest opportunity of my life ahead of me. Please cut me some slack and reduce your expectations on how often I should be interacting with you. Please, a little bit, por favor.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's just I've been super focused. That's why I've been a pain in the ass to get a hold of.
Well, hey man,
I'm glad to hear it.
We appreciate you hopping on, and you'll never have those complaints from us. We're just grateful every time you come on the show. So
I'm grateful too. I love being on the show each time.
Oh yeah, appreciate it, man. We'll have you back on once you get the win on August 3rd.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, good luck to you, man. We'll be watching. We'll probably do another little watch along thing like we did last time. Like I said, me and Squared live together now, so we're much more easily accessible as far as watching fights together, making reactions and stuff. So we're excited to see it, man. Can't wait to see how you get it done. Submission or KO, whatever it may be. But yeah, man, good luck. Keep training hard. Don't make a Twitter. Keep it up, dude.
For the love of God, do not make a Twitter.
Bro, you don't gotta. You do not have to tell me twice, bro. I'm good. I am
Yeah.
good.
Hell yeah, man. Well, we appreciate you hopping on, dude.
Awesome. I
Thanks,
appreciate you
Bailey.
having me.
Hell yeah. Have a good night, man.
Take
Adios,
care, man.
gentlemen.
Solid interview with Bailey as always. We appreciate him hopping on. It was his first time on the show. Since we changed the name to Bench Burner, we are super stoked on that and excited to have him back. He's been on the show more than anybody has at this point. So obviously we're going to follow his career very closely. I'm sure the fans of the show will too. He's a great dude, great fighter. Only big things coming for him. He's 3-0 as a pro, about to be 4-0 August 3rd. And we're excited to see where he goes with not only his MMA career, but his kickboxing career, Muay Thai, whatever he decides to do in the future. But yeah, we'll close it out with that. Square, you got anything to say, my man?
Just always a pleasure to have Bailey on. I love the way his personality meshes with our crew, so it's always a blessing. And we wish him the best of luck. August 3rd, we're going to be watching, we're going to be supporting him, and we know he's going to get it done. Coop.
Yeah, I mean it's always a pleasure to have a guy like Bailey on. Like Squared said, he's a great guy and he meshes with us well. And yeah, it's good to be back. Good to get back into the swing of things, especially with an interview like that. But yeah, that's it from your resident Jamie.
Oh yeah, sounds good. That's a wrap, everybody.
See ya.
See ya.